A little story about a doctor I was helping one night. There was about 10 of these men. It was a night class. They were all doctors. And I said to one of them, "I think you're a surgeon." And he said, "How do you know that?" "First, you know that I am a surgeon. And now you tell me why I do not pass OET. I've got some strategies on how to apply some bits and pieces and little tips on how to get around these difficult things. I know why you're not passing OET." And he said, "You are amazing." Right. Hello, I'm Marg from Melbourne, Australia. Hi, I'll give you a little bit about my background. I started helping medical professionals. They're already qualified doctors, nurses, dentists, and so on from another country, and they wish to go and work in their profession in an English-speaking country, such as Australia, New Zealand, England, the US. So I was standing at a bus stop one day. I'd just come back from China, teaching over there for 18 months, teaching IELTS academic, and came back to my contract had finished, and I was standing waiting for a bus in Melbourne, and my phone rang, and they said, "Would you like to teach English to medical professionals from overseas?" They had not yet put that stamp on it, OET. But anyway, that's what it was. And I said, "Yes, that sounds very challenging. Thank you." So that was 2001, and that was my first introduction to helping some very nice qualified doctors, nurses, dentists, and so on. There are several things that will hold you back. For example, I must tell you a little story about a doctor I was helping one night. There was about 10 of these men. It was a night class. They were all doctors, and I said to one of them, "I think you're a surgeon." And he said, "How do you know that?" And I said, "Well, you've got a bow tie on and a double-breasted suit." And he said, yes, you're right. I'm a surgeon." And I said, "Well, congratulations." So then they proceeded to write a letter. It was a writing class that night. And they went ahead and wrote their letter. And as I got round to him, I said, "I know why you're not passing OET." And he said, "You are amazing. First, you know that I am a surgeon, and now you tell me why I do not pass OET." I said, "It's easy. I cannot read your writing." Oh, so he went through his writing with a fine-tooth comb, got out the magnifying glass, had a look, and I said, "Look, your grammar is excellent. Your sentence structure is spot on. There's nothing doing wrong. It's just that the examiners can't read your writing, and they're not going to take any extra time. So you have special homework for me to do tonight. Lines and lines of cursive writing, A, B, 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 B." And he thought that was rather curious, but never mind. And that the next time he sat the test, he passed because his English writing was clearer. So your handwriting needs to be legible, whether it's OET or IELTS academic. Just to put a sort of a scrawl because you don't quite know how to spell the word is not good enough. You really do need to know how to spell difficult words like pneumococcal and psychiatrist. And all. Think about that. Put some time and effort into your handwriting of English. It has to be clear. The other thing that gets a lot of people down, particularly with IELTS academic, is understanding the listening. Because the listening test is not that easy, and you do need to be able to summarise in your own mind what they're talking about. So if you don't really understand what the spoken word is, you won't be able to summarise it. Anyway, I've got some strategies on how to apply some bits and pieces and little tips on how to get around these difficult things and enhance your chances of passing, because it's not a cheap test. Neither is IELTS academic. Both of them are they're pricey. You want to pay the money, sit the test, pass the test. Get on with whatever you're doing. Registration as a professional health person or enrolling in your academic studies at a university. You don't want to have to go back and sit the test again, the English test, again and again. Terrible. I hope to see you in class when you do enrol at EDUBASE Global. I think it's a great crowd. I've got small classes of 5 people in the class. Great idea. You'll see me because I think I'll be the teacher most of the time. Hope to see you soon. Bye.